Internationally renowned celebrity makeup artist Malika Jaffrin has created a professional brush kit, which is an excellent addition to the collection for any cosmetics lover. Inside of this wonderfully designed leather case are 10 kabuki style inspired brushes that can be used for a variety of tasks and are excellent for everyday essentials. One brush can be used for blending, contouring, or highlighting. They are soft on the skin and they glide easily over your face. With a variety of bristle styles, such as round, flat, angled, tapered, or even fluffy, this particular brush kit is excellent for achieving your everyday look, a glamorous look, or anything in between. Stay tuned to see how it is I utilize all 10 of these brushes for a glamorous inspired makeup look and putting each of them to the test. Smoky Eye featuring the Anastasia Beverly Hills Prism palette. And there's my color switch. Thanks, Yo-Yo. First up, I'm using the KB9. This is listed as a brush that can be used to apply eyeshadow, primer, or blend. I'm using it to apply the shades Unity, and then in between that, Parallel, as well as Osiris. Unity is a bright, kind of a off-white khaki shade. Parallel is a deep brown, and Osiris is actually a grayish blue. And using that to create the gradient for the smoky eye. You'll see me switching back and forth between these several shades before moving on to the next brush in its entirety, which is actually the KA8. First up, we will be applying some kohl eyeliner, and there's the KA8 right there. This brush is the angled fluffy brush, and it's listed as an eyeshadow brush, but also great to use on the sides of the nose and the hollows of the cheek. I am using it just to apply the eyeshadow and to help blend the eyeliner up to create the smoky effect. I'm most comfortable with my smoky eyes by applying a dark eyeliner base first to really ensure, or to truly ensure, that I get a good gradient as well as a good base, and then blending that outward. So just repetitious back and forth movements, ensuring that I've got a good blend and extending the smoky look outward to make sure that everything is even. And then again, switching back to the KB9 to make sure that everything is lovely. Next up, we are going in with the KF02. This is listed as the flat kabuki brush. According to Malika, it is amazing for blending liquid or cream onto a flat area of the face, forehead, and cheeks. The foundation that I'm using is my Marc Jacobs Remarkable. And I am first blending it in the center of the face and then taking it outward. I really do like how it is that the foundation applied. Kabuki brushes are some of my favorites to use for applying foundation because you can ensure that your canvas is smooth, that the application is even and blended very well. And so I use a lot of repetitious motions to make sure that the foundation is blended everywhere to all of the edges of my face, and I also am one that will take it directly up to my hairline as well as down my neck. Also, if anyone is curious, this particular shade of foundation is the Cocoa Deep number 86. Also, to save time, my brows were already done. Now going in with concealer and the KT04 brush. The concealers that I use are the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer in the shades 35 Neutral and 39 Cool. The KT04, which is the tapered kabuki brush, and probably my favorite to use in the kit. I love how it helped to set and blend the concealer. And according to the guide, it is a multi-purpose brush for the face and concealing eyes. The ergonomical shape was absolutely perfect and helped the concealer to blend well and to set well. Speaking of setting, now we're going to go in with the KR01 brush. This is the round kabuki brush, which is great for buffing powder foundation and application, or to blend mineral products onto skin. I'm actually using my Laura Mercier setting powder in the shade Medium Deep. This is the translucent setting powder. And then just going over where I applied the concealer, first and foremost, to make sure that that will set. And then eventually I will take it all over my face. Normally I would set with a brighter powder, such as a banana powder, and then brush it away with the Laura Mercier. But I'm very pleased with how this actually came about. And the bristles were soft and manipulated the product exactly how it is that I desired. Now going in with the KFA 03. This is the angled flat kabuki brush. It is superb for contouring on cheekbones and contours of the nose. And the angle shape can fit into all areas of the face and hard to reach areas. I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit in the shade Deep. And I'm only applying contour on the hollows of my cheeks as well as my jawline. But I think that that's enough for this particular look. Some sculpting is necessary, but I don't need to be too terribly chiseled. Now going in with the KA05 brush. This is the angled kabuki brush. According to the guide, it is great for bronzer application or cream blush. I am using a powder blush, my Becca Blush with Light kit in the shade Wisteria. Now going in with the KP10 brush. And this is a brush that I use for multiple uses to finish up the eye look. I'm taking it to apply the Obsidian shade underneath my eye, as well as to add the Dimension shade into the inner corners to help to make the eye look really pop. All right, eyes are done. Next up, going with the KA7 brush. Now, this is an angled flat kabuki, which states that it can be used for the eyes and face for precise application. I'm using it to apply highlight, my Dior Skin Nude Air Luminizer in the shade number 4. Now, sometimes I can go a little too hard with the highlight, so I actually help to disperse the product and calm it down a little bit with the last brush in the kit, which is the KL6. This is the long kabuki brush. Now, the intended use is to stipple concealer on blemishes, sunspots, and other small imperfections. But because of how much it is that I love the tapered kabuki brush, I just use this to help calm down the highlight. All right. So, final thoughts in regards to these brushes. I have used all of them. I have cleaned all of them, because I hate bringing you dirty brushes on camera. The bristles are soft. Some of them, such as this eye and face concealer brush, which is perfect for under eye concealer because of how it's shaped. Some of them are a little bit more dense than the others. Although they all are a kabuki style, some of them don't feel as tightly packed as
as what I know a kabuki brush to be, but that could be just my personal preference and everything it is that I've experienced. Other than that, all of them worked pretty well. I did get some of my other kabuki brushes out for comparison. I've got this one from a company called Ace Vivi that I got off of Amazon about a year ago. Handle is a little wobbly, but it still works well. I use it mostly for face primer. One thing that I couldn't help but to notice is their face airbrush foundation, the KF02, looks pretty damn close to the Sigma Flat Kabuki F80. Like, wow. The only difference I see is that the Sigma one is a little bit heavier. Malika's is a little bit lighter. And then the handle design, Sigma has multiple notches, whereas Malika just has one notch. And the bristles are a little bit more dense on this one. Not as dense, but still work very well. I put these bristles through the ringer. I feel and manipulate each and every single one of them before I use them, just to make sure that I don't lose bristles right off the gate, because typically when you lose bristles immediately, that's a sign of poor quality. All of these bristles were intact. There wasn't any kind of shedding whatsoever. Also, this case is phenomenal. It is genuine leather. It's got space for 10 items, but of course you can put whatever it is that you would like in here. And I want to take this with me on my makeup applications for my brides and my other special event makeup. I want to take this with me just because of how nice it is. All in all, I could say this would probably be a good replacement or a good substitute for some of the other higher cost brushes out there. If you don't want to spend your entire paycheck for a set of brushes, though, there's nothing wrong with it if you do. Let me be really clear. If you don't want to spend your whole paycheck on an entire set of brushes, this is a great alternative. Me personally, I wish that there were a few more eye brushes. I like the blender, the eye and face blender, the KB9. I like that, but I'm used to just a slightly more rounded tip when it comes to something that I use in my crease. Though I can appreciate the variety between the other two brushes, the Buff Blender K8 and the KA7, the face and conceal one, as again, all these brushes do have multiple uses. They each came with, or the brush set came with a guide on, and again, multiple purposes for almost every single one of them. I use some of these for highlights and blending out my highlight rather than actually intending to use them dedicatedly for the eyes. But, you know, I'd like to see a more ergonomically shaped all over shader brush. But again, that's just my personal preference for what it is that I'm accustomed to using. The eye and face buff blender worked well for blending out my eyeshadow. And I definitely can see this for under eye or for blending out eyeshadow and primer above the eye too. I do have to give it to Malika for the fact that all of these brushes are labeled, not only labeled with their particular brush number, but also labeled with what they can be used for. That is big for me, and that's big for a lot of people who are breaking into makeup and cosmetics who may not know necessarily which brush could go for what brush, or what brush you could substitute for another brush. So I love the fact that they're labeled, and they also are labeled with multiple uses. So eye and face buff blender, then we have face conceal and blend, then we have face blush and bronze. We also have face airbrush foundation, or you could actually eye and face concealer too. This thing here, this was so great for the under eye concealer. I was so impressed with how well it blended out and applied with it. So yes. So you can find these online for $23.77 with Amazon Prime right now. Or you could also get them directly from her website, which is malikajaffrin.com. And she's got a neat little blog out there with some other and she's got a neat little blog out there, and then also some other intended uses for the brush as well. You can also, from her direct website, get the brushes individually if you would like, and those prices are listed accordingly. As always, thank you ever so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. If you have any questions or suggestions, hit your girl up in the comment section. If you are new here, please feel free to hit the subscribe button. I'd love to see you back on my channel. But if you're not here for me, my shenanigans, my opinions, or anything else it is that you didn't like, that's fine. There's an X in the corner for you to click and get your life and get off of my channel. But if you are here for my shenanigans, you're beautiful, amazing, wonderful, spectacular, and if no one else has told you, I appreciate you. You guys have a wonderful day.